This is my DIY back extension setup, and I will say you can also do this on your regular bench with it set up on blocks, which I was doing initially, and I will mention at the end of this section why I'm just using the old bench pad and this setup. Uh, I made the blocks, those two with the foam and wood, to put under the feet of the bench initially. But now I've gotten a new bench pad for my bench, and I've repurposed the old pad for this use. And I went ahead and backed it up with some plywood. This happens to be 3/8 inch. You could probably get away with quarter. The bench pad itself may have been strong enough, but I wanted to make sure that it was not going to buckle without the frame there. And you hook your heels under for this method. So I have put these little half round pieces of wood here as rails, because my feet wanted to slip out on the plywood as compared to the vinyl when I was doing them on the regular bench. They had more traction. You want enough room for your feet to go in and to get your hips out to the pivot point. So my setup wants me to put the box all the way under, but you could scoot that back. I just have a limitation back here. So that's that. I have my safeties down on the lowest west side, and it brings this to a total of 27 inches from the top to the floor. You'll want to be sure that you're not too tall, that you can't get in, get your leg over comfortably. This is about the limit for me, this height. But the height is also nice. It's a little higher than when I did it on the bench. It's nice because I can get closer to vertical. I can go all the way down with my head. Counterweights get placed here, which I'll show in the next section. Now, the reason I'm using the old pad rather than doing it on the bench, and this is a 7-year-old pad, but I noticed when I started doing them, having my hips out on the pivot point was bunching it and oddly causing cracks. These weren't here from just benching. So I decided, hey, 7 years is a good run. I got a new bench pad, and I'm not going to be doing my extensions on that. So I will load up the counterweights, and I'll show you the process of getting on and doing the extensions. So the counterweights are on, and I put the bar up high so that I can step through the back instead of having to climb over the safeties. Another thing that I like about my setup is when I'm done, I slide everything, all the support boxes back, and I don't have to take them on and off the platform. I can bench, slide up to get my arch, the box is not in the way. That's helpful. The bench pad and the board just go in the corner, and to set it up, I just set my safeties down, pull the boxes out, bench on. Be nice to get this in the right. All right, so counterweights are on. I happen to be using two 35s and a 25, just to be sure. And you just get in, you slide out to your pivot point, and then you hook your feet underneath. And some people might need to get used to this, but the bench is good enough cushioning. And then I won't do my full set now. That's how it goes, and I'm really happy with these. They're really helping keeping my back in shape after kind of a perennial tweak, and I like being able to do them at home. Again, you can do this with just the bench up on blocks, but I did notice some issues, wear and tear. So you could buy for 40 bucks from Rep a bench pad and string together some boxes and a board. If you have the materials around and you have a rack, these do have 24-inch deck on them, which is good because I have just enough room the way I do it. But for 40 bucks, if you bought a new pad or if you're replacing one, this could be a way to go.